You over there, I know you like Metal Gear Solid 5, and today I've got an interesting challenge.
I want my mummy! I want my mummy!
Boss, quit being a bitch.
So in this challenge, you're not allowed to use any weapons whatsoever. Within this mission there is an assortment of armoured vehicles that we have to destroy, and not in the most practical and conventional way we're used to. That goes for tanks as well. We won't be using the Fultoning method to extract them. We'll be breaking the rules and setting our own challenges for this one. There is one helicopter that we need to take out, and we won't be using any weapons, so how are we going to get this bird out the sky? Well, I've got a feeling that the support team at Mother Base can help.
Welcome to Mother Base, guys. Check out the guns, guys. What? Seriously, how did that crawl out your ass, down your leg, and onto the floor, soldier? What the fuck?
Welcome to the support unit. This is where the magic happens. You need a supply drop, they've got you covered. You need some help with Fulton extraction, they've also got you covered. The support platform is probably my most favourite thing about Mother Base. There really isn't a thing they don't have. With some questionable herbs being cultivated just below the platform. And let me assure you, it isn't just wormwood. People have literally fallen off platforms, they've been that high. So you're probably asking, well, what are you going to do, Voicebox? You can't use any weapons and you can't Fulton any of the armoured vehicles. Well, my friend, the support unit have got something known as bombardment. And we can't forget about the intel unit, one of the most essential necessities that a base needs to be able to gather very important intel and information out there in the field. There's none better than Diamond Dog's intel service team. They're guaranteed to add some sense of clarity out there in your mission, making it far easier. But truth be told, they get a bit too much information.
Oh yeah, I really love stroking my meat to hentai.
Find the source of that transmission, boss. Find our man. You'll never know.
Tissues, check. Lotions, check. Latest magazine of hentai, check. Oh hey, Snake.
Gas! Get me out!
So there is a few prisoners out there in Afghanistan. Prisoner number 1 is being escorted in a truck by 2 Soviet soldiers. Prisoner number 2 is massively dehydrated and needs plenty of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And prisoner number 3 is being hunted by 4 hungry Soviet soldiers wanting to do unquestionable things to this man. But rules are we have to take these guys back to base as well.
I can't do this.
Oh damn, Jimmy, you're gonna break my heart. If you think Jimmy can do this, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below. Prisoner number 4 is locked inside a cell and could definitely do with some vitamin C and catching some sunlight. It appears that prisoner 5 has made his escape and is going downriver. And we need to get to him before the sharks eat him. There is sharks in Afghanistan, right? And we have the Wok Sing Barracks, a piece of American pie on communist soil. Oh wait, that's Ground Zeroes and definitely not here. It appears prisoner number 6 is locked up in here and needs to catch up with the latest episode with Futura Sound Productions. Great content, by the way.
Речь идет об утопии, когда весь мир стал коммунистическим. Ого, правда? Автор англичанин, так что я...
And oh yeah, this is unrelated, but I couldn't help but capture these 2 Russian soldiers talking about the book 1984 by George Orwell. Very interesting. Anyway, let's do it! So as you could imagine, after several attempts this was painstakingly difficult. Aside from the tank that practically almost fell on my head, this mission was a race against the clock, and if I wanted to get most of the objectives done, I had to get them done as quickly as possible. So I skipped out all the boring parts, such as me consecutively retrying the game, since the rules are that if you get spotted, it's game over. Although saying that, I'm sure some of you would have loved to have seen my absolutely crazy rages where I felt like sticking this controller up somebody's ass. What you're getting here is a uncut version of this perfect run after several attempts, utilising different means to get past several guards, such as throwing the magazines, which were an absolute lifesaver and by far one of the most underrated gems within the Metal Gear series. Going to the barracks seemed like the best decision to make considering it was the closest place to the LZ and we had to rescue one of the prisoners. Throwing the magazines, as per usual, were really working well, and using the rolling ability and what some of you may know as the leapfrog from the FOBs, which is super useful when you're infiltrating somebody's base. So first up, it was rescuing Prisoner 6, which by all means wasn't helping my situation considering she was basically shouting and the soldier above probably could have heard what was going on. But hey, I'm Big Boss, and you are too. Well, no, actually, there's only room for one boss and one snake.
There's room for only one snake and one big boss.
Well, I could have gone back the way that I came, but truth be told, I preferred the scenic route, and well, it was less guarded going this way, even though there was 2 guards. There's nothing that a bit of stealth infiltration can't handle. Believe me, for someone who is an introvert, it works like a charm. So yep, we're going into fast forward mode because this bit here really has nothing of significance, so we're just going to get to the next part, to the important section. Yet we haven't taken out any armoured vehicles as of yet, because I believe so far we don't need to, because they actually don't leave the map as of yet, at least the first one. And yes, coming down this section here, I practically died 3 times by jumping off the cliff. Thankfully I managed to find the correct route, and we could then from there rescue Prisoner 5 and send him on his way. So now I thought it was the perfect time to check in with the armoured vehicle since it's been a while. The brilliance of this using the bombardment tactic was I could be anywhere on the map at any time doing anything else, multitasking whilst taking out different vehicles. Of course timing was key because if you missed, well, you'd have to do it all over again. Making my way downtown past near the palace, at first I actually went to go and try rescue the woman who's in the desert, but instead decided it was a better option to try and rescue the guy that was being in pursuit by 4 Soviet soldiers. Because I learned the hard way, once they find him, they don't tend to have a nice little chat, instead they just get straight to the point and just kill him. Blowing up the second armoured vehicle was perfect because it remained stationary at least for a little while, which means it's just an easy objective. So I'm not going to lie, at this point I got really nervous because I realised that I've already had several attempts and I didn't want to mess this one up. Thankfully I could take the first guy out with any problems, and I thought, well, why not use the good old consecutive CQC?
Consecutive! CQC!
Thankfully, Lady Luck found its way into my life and I could actually take them all out at once, and Fulton them all back to base by using the wormhole, and of course then we rescued Prisoner 3 and sent Jimmy all the way back to Mother Base. So now it's time to bust prisoner number 4's ass out of jail, and of course the best way to do it was to go round and outside of the map, because there was quite a few guards perched up about and around. So I made my way down, steadily and surely, but first I needed to take out an armoured vehicle. And I mean, it's not as easy as it looks, because timing is key, and I've noticed that some vehicles was going faster than others, or actually taking different routes. Feeling like an absolute tit and realising that the GMP is running extremely low and this is turning out to be an expensive business, I knew that I couldn't miss with this one, and thankfully as I were busting out the prisoner, the coordinates were matching perfectly fine to take out this armoured vehicle, although I'm sure when I get back home I'm going to get an absolute bollocking from Kazuhira Miller. And now it was time for a different approach. I still had armoured vehicles to take out, but I needed to take out the escort vehicle that was transporting prisoner number 1. And what better method to use than the very sleek grenade tactic, which thankfully also paid off. So yeah, don't even ask how the driver ended up at the bottom of the car when the sleep bomb went off. Maybe he tried to get away from the sleep gas and he ended up getting overwhelmed. Either way, he's coming back to base along with the prisoner. Job done. At this point, things started to become a lot more easier. I didn't really have to do much running around and I could actually just start picking coordinates to take out these armoured vehicles. Of course, planning ahead is key, and thanks to my horse, slowing it down made it so that planning was actually a lot easier. Once again, I was cutting it close and almost having a full-blown panic attack as I realised this one armoured vehicle was about to leave the map, but thankfully I timed it just before it left.
The targets are almost history.
So you could say that I realised I fucked up. I actually left one of the prisoners within the desert and didn't realise I could have collected him when I went to rescue the prisoner down at the palace. And there was 2 more armoured vehicles on their way past me, but it was no worries because I had it covered once again, and actually killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
I know they say that you're meant to be a gentleman and it's usually ladies first, but honestly guys, I just forgot that she was in the desert cooking in the sun. And besides, the strategy could not have worked any better. In fact, it was the perfect ending to actually make this run what it was. Well, okay, maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but early on in the video I was trying to destroy this transport truck, which really I didn't need to destroy, so you can actually go collect a javelin and to take out weapons, but it actually served as the perfect roadblock to take out the tank from behind. And, well, I thought for the heck of it I might as well take it out, but the helicopter was on my mind, and I knew there was no way that I could have used bombardment on it because it keeps constantly moving. But I did have an ace up the sleeve.
Boss, I don't know if you're aware, but you used all our fucking money.
So yeah, with the few amount of pennies that I had left, I managed to get Pequod to come in and give me some assistance. It was quite a battle to see. But like I said, I asked for air support, but for some reason Pequod thought I asked for a pickup.
Elimination of enemy threat. This is Pequod. Prioritizing elimination of enemy threat. Engaging missile launcher. Great work, boss. The gunship is down.
But yeah, the idiot ended up getting himself killed for not listening to instructions clearly. The amusing thing is, I actually spent more in GMP on this mission than I actually earned taking out these armoured vehicles. That's the irony of it all. It's meant to be the perfect money-making opportunity, and in fact it would be the complete opposite. With one more tank left on the agenda, of course it was the perfect way to put an end to this run that was rather enjoyable. And perhaps the end of Diamond Dogs, as we are now completely bankrupt and without any money. Well guys, thank you for watching. This is really about it for today's challenge. I'm sure there'll be many more to come in the future. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here to the Metal Gear series, I welcome you on board. This franchise and series is as clearly relevant as it always was. Well guys, with all that being said, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. So feel free to follow the voice box if you love anything Metal Gear Solid. Well anyway guys, I'm out. And until we meet again.